There are moments in life that split you in two moments where you think you know someone, and in a split second, that person becomes a stranger. I lived that moment on a Tuesday afternoon in the living room of a house that wasn't mine, with a cardboard box in my hands and my son, my own son, looking at me as if I were a burden. My name is Miriam Bennett. I am 59 years old, and this is the story I kept silent for a long time, because sometimes the greatest pain isn't what is done to you, but discovering who is doing it. For 32 years, I built a textile company from scratch. I started with an old sewing machine in the garage of my house. I worked double shifts, endless early mornings, and sat through meetings with clients who treated me as if I understood nothing. But I knew. I knew about fabrics, about seams, about numbers, and above all, I knew about sacrifice. My husband died when Ethan was 12, a massive heart attack one Sunday morning. From that day on, everything fell on my shoulders. The company, the house, my son's education. Ethan was a quiet, sensitive boy. He liked to draw. He spent hours in his room creating characters and imaginary worlds. I dreamed that one day he would take over the company, but I never pressured him. I just wanted him to be happy. I sent him to the best private university in the country. I paid every tuition bill without complaint. When he graduated, he met Valerie, a tall woman with straight, perfect hair and a smile that never quite reached her eyes. The first time I saw her, I felt something strange, like a chill, but Ethan was in love, and I wanted to see him happy. They married 2 years later. A big, elegant wedding. I paid for almost everything. Valerie chose every detail. The flowers, the dress, the menu. Ethan just nodded. The first few years were quiet. They lived in a small apartment in a trendy downtown neighborhood. I kept working. The company was growing. Everything seemed to be in order. Until one day, things began to change. It was subtle at first. A call from Valerie asking about my will. A hint from Ethan about when I was going to retire. Small seeds of anxiety planted with care, but I kept going. I trusted my son. And then came the crisis. A series of bad investments. A dishonest partner who disappeared with $500,000. Debts accumulated like waves in a storm. In 6 months, my company went bankrupt. I lost everything. The factory, my savings, the house I had bought with so much effort. One afternoon, Ethan called me. His voice sounded firm, almost professional. "Mom, Valerie and I talked. Can you come live with us? We have a bigger house now in Lincoln Park." I felt immense relief. My son was reaching out his hand. In the darkest moment of my life, he was there. "Thank you, my love. Thank you. You don't know what this means to me. It's temporary, right, Mom? Until you get back on your feet." Of course, I just need some time. I packed my things in 3 suitcases, clothes, some photographs, a gold ring that had belonged to my mother. It was the only thing of value I had left. The first day at his house was strange. Valerie welcomed me at the door with a polite, cold smile. "Miriam, glad you arrived. Come, let me show you your room." She took me to a small room on the ground floor, next to the kitchen, windowless, with a twin bed and a tiny closet. "You'll be comfortable here. It's close to everything." I nodded. I wasn't going to complain. It was their house. That night we had dinner together. Valerie made pasta. Ethan talked about work. I listened in silence. After dinner, I got up to wash the dishes. "No, Miriam, leave it. Tomorrow we'll talk about how to organize ourselves." I went to my room, sat on the bed, and for the first time in months, I cried in silence. The next morning, someone knocked on my door. It was Valerie. She was holding a cardboard box in her hands. "Miriam, I need to talk to you." I opened the door. She entered without waiting for an invitation. "Look, Ethan and I have talked. This can't be a hotel. If you're going to live here, you have to contribute." "Of course, I understand. I'm looking for a job, as soon as." "No, I don't mean money. I mean helping around the house." She left the box on the bed. "Open it." My hands were shaking. I lifted the lid. Inside was a black uniform with a white apron, a maid's uniform. I froze, staring at that fabric, then staring at Valerie. She smiled. A small, controlled smile. "Wear this." Sometimes we trust too much in those we shouldn't, right? You've also been disappointed by someone you loved. Tell me your story in the comments. I want to read it. I couldn't speak. The words got stuck in my throat as if someone were squeezing my neck. Valerie stood there, perfectly groomed, looking at me with that expression I had seen before on her face but never wanted to acknowledge. It was contempt, pure and simple. I don't understand, I finally whispered. She sighed as if I were a slow child who didn't understand instructions. It's very simple, Miriam. This house doesn't clean itself. I work. Ethan works. And you? Well, you're here doing nothing, but I can help in other ways. I can cook. You can wear the uniform, or you can find another place to stay. She closed the box and pushed it toward me. Think about it. But think fast. She left the room, closed the door behind her, and I was left alone with that box, with that black uniform that smelled of new plastic. And then the memories began to arrive like waves, like a river overflowing. I remembered when Ethan was little, 4 years old, maybe 5. We had so little money back then. My husband worked from sunup to sundown, but it was never enough. I sewed from home alterations, hems, prom dresses for the neighbors. One afternoon, Ethan came running into my workshop. He had a drawing in his hands, a drawing of me, sitting in front of my sewing machine in a blue dress that was actually gray, but he had painted it blue because he said blue was my color. Mommy, you're the prettiest mommy in the world. He hugged me with that strength children have when they still don't know how to lie with their bodies. Do you know what I'm going to do when I grow up? He asked me. What, my love? I'm going to be rich and I'm going to buy you a huge house with a garden and you'll never have to work so hard again. I stroked his hair. I cried without him seeing me. I don't need a huge house, my sweet. I just need you to be happy and, well, to be a good man. That boy who promised to take care of me, where was he now? I remembered when my husband died, the funeral. Ethan crying silently next to me, barely 12 years old, in a suit that was too big for him, squeezing my hand. Mom, I'm going to take care of you, I promise. And I believed him. I worked double, triple. I accepted jobs that humiliated me, clients who treated me as if I knew nothing, sleepless nights, days without eating well, all so he could study, so he could have a future better than mine. When I opened my first small factory, Ethan was 17. He came with me on opening day. It was just him, me, and Mr. Ramiro, my first employee. Someday this will be yours, Ethan. Everything I'm building is for you. He smiled. He hugged me. Thanks, Mom, for everything. When did he change? At what moment did he stop being that boy who drew me in blue dresses and become a man who could look at me with indifference? I tried to remember, to find the exact moment. Maybe it was when he met Valerie. She came from a wealthy family, divorced parents, a mother living in Scottsdale with her third husband. Valerie spoke with that tone people have when they've never had to worry about money, as if the world owed them something. The first time she came to my house, she looked at everything with that polite smile that doesn't hide the judgment. The old furniture, the faded curtains, the small kitchen where I had prepared food for 100 family events. How cozy, she said. Ethan apologized as if he had to ask forgiveness for the house where he grew up. After that visit, he began to change subtly. He stopped coming by as often. When he did come, he stayed for a short time. He always had an excuse, a meeting, a commitment, a dinner with Valerie's parents. Mom, you have to understand. Valerie and I have a social life. I can't cancel everything to come eat every Sunday. I'm not asking you to cancel anything, my love. I just miss seeing you. I'm not a child anymore, Mom. Those words, how they hurt. But I let him go because that's what mothers are supposed to do, right? Let go of their children, allow them to build their own lives. I never imagined that letting him go would mean being left completely alone. I remembered his wedding, me sitting in the front row in a wine-colored dress I had made especially elegant. I had my hair done at a salon. I wanted to look good. I wanted Ethan to feel proud of me. During the ceremony, I saw him looking at her, at Valerie, with that absolute adoration, as if she were the only person in the world. And I felt something small and dark in my chest. It wasn't envy, it was fear that I was no longer enough. At the reception, Valerie introduced me to her friends. This is Miriam, Ethan's mom. She has a textile factory. How interesting, said one of them without the slightest interest in her voice. Later, during the dance, Ethan took me out to dance. The mother-son dance was tradition. "You look beautiful, Mom." "Thank you, my love. You look very handsome, too." We danced in silence for a few seconds. He was looking toward where Valerie was. I was looking at his face, searching for my son. "Are you happy, Ethan?" "Very, Mom. Very happy. That's the only thing that matters to me." I lied. It also mattered to me that he remained the boy who loved me. But I didn't tell him that. The first years of their marriage were quiet. I kept working. The company was doing well. We weren't millionaires, but we were stable. Ethan worked at a graphic design firm, Valerie at an expensive clothing boutique. I invited them to dinner every 2 weeks. Sometimes they came, sometimes they didn't. When they came, Valerie always found something to criticize. The food was too salty, or too simple, or too spicy. It was never right. "It's just that, Miriam, we're used to eating lighter. Have you thought about taking a healthy cooking course?" Ethan said nothing, just ate in silence. I smiled, nodded, and swallowed my words. Because that's what women of my generation do, right? We swallow the humiliation and smile because we don't want to cause problems. I remembered the last Christmas before the bankruptcy. I had prepared a big dinner. I had invited Ethan and Valerie, my sister, some cousins. Valerie arrived late in a very expensive dress, extremely high heels. "Oh, Miriam, sorry. We had a dinner with Ethan's partners, but we said, no. We have to stop by and spend at least a little while with the family, as if being with me were an obligation, a transaction." During dinner, Valerie talked about their plans. They wanted to buy a bigger house in Lincoln Park or the Gold Coast. Of course, we don't have the full down payment yet, but soon. She looked at Ethan. He looked at his plate. Later, when everyone left, I found an envelope on the dining table. Inside was a note from Ethan. "Mom, I need to ask you a favor. Could you lend me $10,000? It's for the down payment on the house. I promise I'll pay you back in 6 months. $10,000. I had it. It was my emergency savings, but I had it. The next morning I transferred the money." He never paid me back, never mentioned it again. And I never asked for it because that's how mothers are. We give, and we don't ask for a receipt. Now, sitting in that small room with that box on the bed, I understood something. I understood that I had allowed all of this. I had allowed Valerie to speak to me with contempt. I had allowed Ethan to abandon me emotionally. I had allowed them to treat me as if I didn't matter, because I was afraid. Afraid of losing my son. Afraid of being completely alone. But now, what else could I lose? I opened the box again, took out the uniform, laid it out on the bed. Black, starched, with a white apron that had lace on the edges, a uniform for the woman who had built a company from scratch, for the woman who had raised a son alone, for the woman who had worked until her fingers bled on that old sewing machine, a maid's uniform. I touched the gold ring I wore on my finger. My mother's ring was the only thing I had left of her, the only valuable thing I had managed to save from the bankruptcy. My mother had been a domestic worker all her life. She worked in big houses, in houses where they treated her well, and in houses where they treated her as if she were invisible. She never complained. She worked until the last day of her life. She gave me everything she could, education, values, and this ring. "Daughter, this ring is yours, but promise me something. Promise me that you are going to have a different life, that you are going to study, that you are going to be somebody." I did it, Mom. I was somebody, and now I'm here. I put the uniform back in the box, pushed it under the bed. I wasn't going to wear it. I still didn't know what I was going to do, but not that. I left the room, went to the kitchen. Valerie was there drinking coffee, checking her phone. "Did you try on the uniform yet? I need to talk to Ethan." Ethan already left for work. And he agrees with this, Miriam. It was both our idea. I sat down. My legs were trembling. "Valerie, I have always treated you with respect from day one. I have never interfered in your marriage, never criticized anything. Why are you doing this to me?" She put down the phone, looked me directly in the eyes. "Because I can." 3 words. Because I can. And in that moment, I knew. I knew this wasn't just about helping around the house. This was about power, about humiliation, about putting me in my place. Besides, Miriam, Let's be honest. What else do you have? You lost your company, you lost your house, you have no money, you have nowhere to go. Here you have a roof, food. It's not that bad, is it? I stood up. My hands were shaking so much I had to lean on the table. I prefer to sleep in the street. Oh, Miriam, don't be dramatic. I went back to my room, closed the door, and for the first time in months, I didn't cry. I was too angry to cry. I took out my suitcase, started packing. I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't have a plan, but I wasn't going to stay there. Then I heard the front door. Footsteps. Ethan's voice. I came out of the room. He was in the living room taking off his tie. Ethan, I need to talk to you. He looked at me, tired. Mom, what's wrong? What's wrong? Seriously, you ask me that? Valerie appeared behind him, stood by his side as if they were a united front. Your wife gave me a maid's uniform. She told me if I want to live here, I have to work as a servant. I waited. I waited for him to say something, to be surprised, to get angry. But he didn't. Mom, it's just that you aren't contributing, and we work a lot. The house is big. We need help. I am your mother, Ethan, not your employee. No one is treating you like an employee. We're just asking you to help. The uniform is so you don't dirty your clothes. I couldn't believe it. My son, my own son, defending her, justifying this. You agree with this? He sighed, rubbed his face. Mom, look, you lost everything. I'm giving you a place to live. The least you can do is help around the house. It's not that hard to understand. The least you can do. As if everything I had done for him for 32 years didn't count. As if the years of sacrifice, the sleepless nights, the jobs I took so he could study, as if none of that mattered. You know what, Ethan? You're right. Yes, you're absolutely right. I lost everything. My company, my house, my dignity. But there is something I am not going to lose. What? My self-respect. I went back to my room, finished packing. 3 suitcases. That was all I had left in the world. When I came out, Ethan was in the living room, Valerie by his side, both looking at me. Where are you going to go? He asked. I don't know, but I'm not staying here. Mom, don't be stubborn. You're exaggerating. Exaggerating, Ethan? Look at me. Look me in the eyes. I'm your mother. Do you really think I deserve this? He looked away, and that told me everything. It's fine, I said. I understand now. I walked toward the door with my 3 suitcases, with my gold ring, with the little I had left. Valerie spoke from behind. When you get tired of living on the street, you know where your uniform is. I didn't turn around. I didn't answer. I opened the door and walked out. The sun was setting. The street was empty. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have enough money to rent anything. I had maybe $500 in my account, enough for a week in a cheap motel, maybe 2 if I ate very little. But I was going to find a way because I had survived worse things, and if life had taught me anything, it was this. When you think you've hit rock bottom, there is always a way to get up. Always. I walked to the corner. I called an Uber with the last dollars I had on my card. I gave the address of my sister Lucy. We hadn't spoken in months. We had a complicated relationship, but it was my only option. As the car pulled away from that house, I looked out the window. I saw Ethan at the door, standing there, watching. He didn't run after me. He didn't call me. He just stayed there. And that image of my son letting me go without doing anything hurt me more than anything Valerie had said. While I tell all this, I wonder where you are listening from. Write the name of your city in the comments. I want to know I'm not alone in this. My sister Lucy lived in a modest neighborhood, nothing fancy, a 4-story walk-up building without an elevator, a small apartment she shared with her husband Bob and her 2 teenage sons. When I knocked on the door, she opened it with that expression people have when they see a ghost. Miriam, what are you doing here? My suitcase is on the floor, my face probably swollen from holding back tears during the whole ride. Can I come in? She stepped aside. Bob was in the living room watching football. He greeted me with a nod. The boys were in their rooms. Coffee? Lucy asked. Please. We sat at the small kitchen table. She made coffee in an old pot I recognized. It had belonged to our mother. What happened? She asked bluntly. I told her everything. The uniform, Valerie, Ethan, the way I had left. Lucy listened in silence, drinking her coffee without interrupting. When I finished, she sighed. Miriam, you were always too soft on that boy. It wasn't soft, it was love. It was spoiling him. You gave him everything, and now look. I didn't have the energy to argue. Maybe she was right, maybe not. It didn't matter anymore. Can I stay here just a few days until I find something? Lucy looked toward the living room where Bob was. It's just that the apartment is small, Miriam. We don't have extra space. I can sleep on the sofa. I won't be a bother. I promise. It's not that. It's just that Bob and I are going through a hard time financially. He lost his job 3 months ago. We're living on my salary and it barely covers things. I nodded. Of course I couldn't stay. I understand. Sorry for coming like this without warning. Wait. I didn't say you couldn't stay. Just give me a few days. I need to talk to Bob, get organized. Okay. I stayed that night. I slept on the sofa, a sunken sofa that smelled of dampness, but it was soft, and my sister had given me a clean blanket. I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, the water stains, the bulb that flickered. How had I gotten here? A year ago, I had my own house, my company, employees, respect, and now I was here on my sister's sofa, without a dollar, without a plan. The next morning, Lucy made me scrambled eggs, toast, coffee. Miriam, really, I'm sorry. I wish I could offer you more, but things are tough. I know. Don't worry. I'm going to find something. Do you have a plan? I'm going to look for work. Anything. Something that lets me rent a room. Even something small. And your company? Is there no way to recover it? No. The debts were too big. I had to file for bankruptcy. I lost everything. Clients, machinery, everything. She shook her head. And Ethan, can't he help you financially, even a little? I'm not going to ask him for anything after what happened. I'd rather starve. Oh, Miriam, always so proud. It's not pride, Lucy. It's dignity. I walked through the entire neighborhood. I went into shops, restaurants, offices. Do you have sales experience? Well, I had my own textile company for 32 years. We're looking for someone younger, someone who can carry boxes. Sorry. Do you know how to use computers? Yes, of course. I know Excel, email. We're looking for someone with experience in social media, Instagram, TikTok, those things. I can learn. Sorry. Thanks for coming. One after another. Doors closed, looks of pity, or worse, looks of indifference. One afternoon I went into a fast food restaurant. They were hiring. How old are you? Asked the manager. A kid who couldn't have been more than 25. 59. It's just that the work here is very heavy. You have to stand for many hours. You have to move fast. I don't know if you can do it. I worked 32 years in a factory. I know what hard work is. Leave me your number. If something opens up, we'll call you. They never called. The fourth night at Lucy's house, I heard voices. Lucy and Bob arguing in their room. She can't stay here forever, Lucy. I know. But she's my sister. Your sister who always had more than us, who never helped us when we needed it. That's not true. She invited us to dinner many times. Dinner? That's helping? When I lost my job 3 years ago, remember we asked her to borrow money? Remember, she said. Silence. She said her company was going through a bad time, that she couldn't. And 2 weeks later we saw her on Facebook at an expensive restaurant with Ethan. Bob, please. Look, I don't want to be mean, but we have our own problems. We can't be supporting your sister. I closed my eyes. Held back the tears. He was right. I couldn't stay here. The next morning I spoke with Lucy. I'm going to leave. I found something. Yes? Where? I lied. A friend is letting me stay with her for a few weeks. Don't worry. Are you sure? Yes. And thank you truly for these days. She hugged me. A quick, awkward hug. Take care, Miriam. I took my suitcases. Left. I didn't have any friend. I had nowhere to go. I walked to a park nearby. I sat on a bench. I took out my phone, checked my bank account. $60. That was all. dollars standing between me and the street. I called some former employees, women who had worked with me for years. "Martha, it's Miriam. Miriam, how are you? I heard about the company. How sad." "Yes. Listen, I'm calling because I need a favor. What do you need? I'm looking for work. Anything. Do you know of anything?" Let me think. "You know? My cousin has a dry cleaners. Maybe she needs help. I'll give you her number. Thanks, Martha." "I appreciate it so much." I called Martha's cousin. She set up an interview for the next day. The dry cleaners was in a working-class neighborhood, small. It smelled of chemicals and steam. The owner's name was Gabrielle, a sturdy woman around 40 with her hair in a tight ponytail. "So you worked in textiles?" "Yes, 32 years. I had my own factory." "Well, this isn't a factory. Here we wash clothes, iron everything by hand. It's hard work. I can do it. The pay is low, $12 an hour, cash, no benefits. Hours are 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday to Saturday." I did the math mentally. About $700 a week if the hours were steady, but probably less after taxes if it was legit. But cash meant cash. It was barely enough to rent a room and eat. "It's fine. Can you start tomorrow?" "Yes." "Okay. Wear comfortable clothes and get ready to sweat." I left there with a job. It wasn't much, but it was something. I looked for rooms for rent on the internet. I found one 10 minutes from the dry cleaners. $800 a month. A small room in a basement boarding house. Shared bathroom, no kitchen. I took it. The landlady was an older woman, Mrs. Higgins. She looked me up and down. "You coming alone?" "Yes. No husband, no kids, no one. I don't want problems here. No parties, no visitors at midnight. There won't be any problem. Payment is up front. Every month. If you're late, you're out." "I understand." I gave her the $800 plus $200 deposit I managed to scrape together. I had $10 left in my pocket. The room was worse than I imagined. 50 square feet. A twin bed with a sunken mattress, a plastic chair, a bulb hanging from the ceiling, a small window that faced a dirty patio, walls with water stains, cold cement floor. I sat on the bed, looked around. This was my life now. I took out my mother's ring, looked at it. The gold shined even in that dark place. I could sell it. They would probably give me $1,000, maybe more. With that, I could live a month while I found something better, but I couldn't. It was the only thing I had left of her, the only thing that connected me to who I had been. I put it away. That night, lying on that mattress that smelled of mold, I cried for everything I had lost. For the house I had bought with so much effort, for the company I had built from scratch, for the years of sacrifice that now seemed to mean nothing. And I cried for Ethan. For the boy who had promised to take care of me, for the man he had become, for the son I had lost long before losing everything else. But something happened that night. Something changed inside me. Between the tears, between the pain, I felt something else. Rage. A cold, quiet, but intense rage. It wasn't rage against Ethan or against Valerie. It was rage against myself for having allowed myself to get here, for having accepted crumbs, for having believed that love was enough to sustain a relationship where there was no respect. I had spent my life giving, sacrificing, putting myself last. And for what? To end up here in a tiny room with $10 in my pocket? No, I couldn't end up like this. I wasn't going to end up like this. I wiped my tears, sat on the bed, turned on the light, took out an old notebook I had in one of my suitcases, and a pen, and wrote, things I know how to do: sew, design, patterns, manage, sell, survive. I looked at the list. I had built a company once from scratch, without anyone's help. I could do it again. I didn't know how. I didn't know how long it would take me, but I was going to do it. Because if life had taught me anything, it was that you don't stay lying on the ground waiting for someone to come pick you up. You pick yourself up. Even if your knees hurt, even if your legs shake, even if you don't know which way to walk, you get up and start again. The next day, I started working at the dry cleaners. Gabrielle hadn't exaggerated. The work was exhausting. Steam, heat, ironing for hours, hand-washing heavy garments, carrying bags of dirty clothes. My hands, which for years had handled fine fabrics and industrial machines, were now red, cracked, hurting every night. But I didn't complain. I worked. And while I worked, I thought about how I had started my company. I remembered. I had started with small jobs, alterations for neighbors, hems, buttons, zippers. Little by little, I had built a client base. Then came the dresses, the proms, the brides, and then the school uniforms, the big orders, the contracts. It had taken 10 years to have my own small factory, another 10 to make it grow. It hadn't been fast, but it had been real. Why couldn't I do it again? One afternoon, on my 30-minute lunch break, I took out my phone. I searched for Facebook groups for sewing, for entrepreneurs, for women selling products from home. I joined several. I posted, offering sewing services, alterations, hems, zippers, buttons, custom clothes, affordable prices, guaranteed work. Nothing happened that day or the next, but on the third day I received a private message. "Hi, do you make curtains?" I answered immediately. "Yes, what do you need?" "I need curtains for my living room." "How much do you charge?" I did a quick quote. "Fabric, hours of work, finishes, $150. "Okay. When can you do it?" "Next week." Perfect. My first client. It wasn't much, but it was a start. I bought fabric with the money left from my first paycheck at the dry cleaners. I worked all Sunday night. My hands shook with exhaustion, but I finished the curtains. They were perfect. The client was delighted, paid me, and recommended me to 2 friends. And so it started little by little. One job, then another and another. Curtains, cushion covers, fixing pants, simple dresses. I worked at the dry cleaners during the day and in my room during the nights and Sundays. I slept 4 hours, sometimes less, but every dollar I earned I saved, separated it, guarded it as if it were gold. 2 months passed. 2 months without speaking to Ethan. 2 months without hearing from him. Part of me hoped he would call, ask about me, apologize. But he didn't, and I didn't look for him either. One afternoon, while I was ironing at the dry cleaners, Gabrielle approached. "Hey, Miriam, do you know how to fix sewing machines?" "A little. Why?" "I have an old one at my house. It's broken. My mom used to use it, but it's been stored for years. Want to see it? If you fix it, I'll give it to you." My heart skipped a beat. "Seriously?" "Yes. It's useless to me, but if you can use it, it's yours." That night, Gabrielle took me to her house. We went up to a room full of old boxes, and there it was. An industrial sewing machine, old, rusted, but complete. I checked it, tested it. The motor worked. It just needed oil, cleaning, a tension adjustment. "I can fix it." "It's yours." I cried that night again, but this time not from sadness, from hope. Because that machine was more than metal and parts. It was a tool. It was an opportunity. It was the beginning of something new. You've also had to start from scratch, lost everything, and had to get up. Tell me, sometimes we need to know we aren't alone in this fight. The sewing machine changed everything. I spent a whole weekend cleaning it. Oil, old rags, patience. My hands smelled of grease, but little by little that old machine came back to life. The sound of the motor when I turned it on for the first time was like hearing music. I placed it in my room next to the small window. It was the only place it fit. Mrs. Higgins, the landlady, came up to complain about the noise. "What is that racket?" "It's my sewing machine. I work at night, just a few hours. You can't run a business here. This is residential, not a business. I just do small jobs to earn a little extra." She looked at me with suspicion. "I better not see customers coming up and down at all hours. This is a decent house. Don't worry." But Mrs. Higgins was right. I couldn't receive customers there. It was impossible. I had to figure it out. Customers sent me measurements by WhatsApp, photos of what they wanted. I did quotes, bought fabric at the market during my lunch hour, and worked at night. Deliveries were made on Sundays at meeting points, subway stations, coffee shops. It was exhausting, but the orders began to grow. One client recommended me to her sister, that sister to her work friends, those friends to their neighbors. Word of mouth. In 3 months, I was earning almost the same sewing as at the dry cleaners. But I couldn't leave the dry cleaners yet. It was my secure income, the solid ground beneath my feet. One afternoon, while ironing, I felt the phone vibrate in my pocket. It was an unknown number. I hesitated, but answered. Hello? Mom? My heart stopped. Ethan. Speaking. Ethan? As if I didn't know. As if I didn't recognize his voice after hearing it for 32 years. What do you want? My voice came out colder than I expected. I wanted to know how you were. Now you care? Mom, please, let's not start like this. Start like this? Ethan, you kicked me out of your house. You gave me a maid's uniform. What did you expect? Silence. I didn't kick you out. You left because you didn't give me a choice. There are always choices, Mom. That phrase hurt. As if I had chosen this. As if I had wanted to end up working in a dry cleaner's, living in a room the size of a closet. Why are you calling? Ethan, because you're my mom and it's not right that we don't talk. And Valerie? Does she also think it's not right? Valerie has nothing to do with this. Of course she has to do with this. She was the one who gave me that uniform. She was the one who told me I could use it or leave. She just... Look, things got out of control. Maybe it was a mistake, but you also got very dramatic. Dramatic? That word. I understand. I said nothing else. Mom, don't be like that. I'm calling you so we can fix this. Fix what exactly? Do you want me to come back? Do you want me to put on the uniform and clean your house? No. I want us to talk like adults. Okay, let's talk. Are you going to apologize? Apologize? For what? For letting your wife humiliate me, for not defending me, for making me feel like a burden. I didn't do that. You did nothing, and that is exactly the problem. Mom, you knew we were going through a hard time. The house is expensive. Valerie and I work a lot. We just wanted you to collaborate. Collaborate, Ethan? I am your mother. Not a tenant. Not an employee. I know you're my mother. That's why I'm calling. How long did it take you to call me? 3 months? 2.5 months. Ah, sorry, 2.5 months. Much better. I was waiting for your anger to pass. It's not anger, Ethan. It's disappointment. Long silence. I could hear his breathing. Where are you living? He asked finally. That's not your problem. Yes, it is. You're my mom. Now I'm your mom. 2.5 months ago, I was a burden. I never said that. You didn't have to say it. Are you okay? Do you have a place to live? Do you have money? I'm fine. I'm working. I have a room. I'm surviving. Where are you working? I hesitated. I didn't want to tell him. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing that I, who had owned my own company, was now ironing other people's clothes. But I didn't want to lie either. At a dry cleaner's. Silence. A dry cleaner's? Yes. Mom, you're a businesswoman. Not anymore. Now I work at a dry cleaner's. And you know what? I'm proud of that job because it's honest and it's enough to survive. It doesn't have to be like this. Can I? Can you, what? Come back to your house? Put on the uniform? No. I wasn't going to say that. Can I help you with some money so you can rent something better? I don't want your money. Mom, don't be proud. It's not pride. It's dignity. There's a difference. Okay, whatever you want. I just wanted to know you were okay. You know now. I'm fine. Can we see each other? Eat together? Talk? I don't know, Ethan. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Okay, I understand. But think about it, please. I'll think about it. I love you, Mom. Those words after everything. I love you. What good were those words without actions to back them up? Goodbye, Ethan. I hung up. Gabrielle was watching me from the other side of the shop. Everything okay? Yes, everything okay. But I wasn't okay. That call churned everything up inside me. Part of me wanted to believe him, wanted to believe he really cared, that he had called because he missed me, but another part knew something didn't add up. Why now? Why after almost 3 months? Throughout the afternoon, while I ironed, I turned it over in my mind, and then I understood. Guilt. Ethan was calling out of guilt, not out of love, not because he missed me, but because probably someone had asked about me, or because Valerie had told him it looked bad not to speak to his mother. It was a call to clear his conscience, and I had almost fallen for it. Almost. That night in my room, while sewing a dress for a sweet 16, I thought about my marriage, about my husband, Robert. I carried his name, although now almost no one remembered him. Robert had been a good man, hard-working, quiet, not very expressive, but faithful. We had met young. I was 20, he was 23. He worked in a hardware store. He earned little, but he always treated me with respect. We married a year after meeting. A small wedding, no money for big celebrations. The first years were hard. We lived in a tiny apartment. Money barely stretched. I did sewing from home. He worked double shifts. When Ethan was born, Robert cried with happiness. "He's perfect," he said, looking at our baby. "He's perfect, Miriam." He was a good father, patient, affectionate. He loved holding Ethan, playing with him. But Robert was never ambitious. He was content with what he had, living day to day. I wasn't. I wanted more. Not out of whim, but because I wanted to give my son a better life. I started taking more jobs, looking for clients, dreaming of something bigger. Robert didn't understand. "Why do you want more? We have enough. Enough to survive." "But I want Ethan to study, to have opportunities." "He'll have opportunities. He doesn't need to go to expensive schools for that," we argued. Not much, but we argued. And then he died. A massive heart attack. At 38. Ethan was 12. I remember that day as if it were yesterday. Robert got up early like always, drank his coffee, kissed me on the forehead. "See you tonight, my love. See you tonight." Those were the last words we exchanged. At 11 inches the morning, I got the call from the hospital. "Are you the wife of Robert Bennett?" "Yes. You need to come to the hospital. Urgent." When I arrived, it was too late. He had died in the ambulance. The first months after his death were hell. Not only because of the pain of losing him, but the fear. How was I going to support the house alone? How was I going to pay for Ethan's school? How was I going to survive? But I survived because I had no other choice. I took work. I slept 3-4 hours. Got up at 5 a.m. Worked until midnight. And little by little, I built something bigger. From small jobs, I went to big orders. From big orders to contracts. From contracts to my own small factory. It took years, but I did it. And during all that time, my motor was Ethan. Everything I did was for him, to give him the life Robert hadn't been able to give him, so he would have options, so he wouldn't have to struggle like me. And now that same son had let me go without looking back. He had traded me for a woman who couldn't stand me. He had made me feel that I was worth nothing. I stopped sewing. My eyes were full of tears. Not for Ethan this time, but for me. For all the years I had sacrificed. For all the sleepless nights. For all the times I had put myself last. And for what? To end up here alone in a room that wasn't even mine. But then something happened. I looked at my hands. My old, wrinkled hands, with scars from years of work. These hands had built something once. These hands could build something again. I wiped my tears. I finished the sweet 16 dress. It turned out beautiful. Pale pink, with beading on the bodice, puffy tulle on the skirt. The client picked it up on Sunday. She was delighted. "Mrs. Miriam, it's precious. My daughter is going to cry with excitement." She paid me $200 and gave me a $50 tip for the beautiful work. $250 in my hands. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Earned with my effort. With my hands. With my dignity intact. That week Ethan called again. "Mom, did you think about what I said? Can we see each other? I'm busy working, Ethan. It'll just be an hour. Coffee, please." I hesitated. Part of me wanted to see him. Wanted to see his face. Wanted to know if his eyes said the same thing as his words. "Okay, but not in Lincoln Park. Somewhere neutral." "Where?" "There's a coffee shop near the Loop." "By the train station." "There." "Okay. Saturday at 3? Sunday at 5. Why Sunday?" "Because I work Saturday." "Okay. Sunday at 5. The days until Sunday were strange. Part of me anticipated the meeting, another part feared it. What was I going to say to him? What did he expect me to say? Was he going to ask for forgiveness or keep justifying himself? Sunday arrived. I showered, put on my best clothes, black pants, a white blouse, clean shoes. I put on light makeup, not much, just enough not to look tired. I looked in the small mirror of my room. I looked older, more gray hair, face thinner, lines more marked, but I also looked stronger, as if everything that had happened had hardened me on the outside, but also on the inside. I arrived at the coffee shop 15 minutes early. Ordered a coffee. Sat at a table by the window. Waited. Ethan arrived on time. I saw him enter looking for me. When he found me, he smiled. A small, nervous smile. He approached. Sat across from me. "Hi, Mom." "Hi." He looked good. Ironed shirt, dress pants, expensive shoes. He ordered a coffee too. We both sat in silence for a few seconds. "You look good," he said finally. "Thanks. How have you been?" "Working, like I told you." "Yes. About that." "Still at the dry cleaners?" "Yes. And I also sew at night. I have several clients." "Already? Clients? You're starting over." "Something like that." He nodded. He drank his coffee. "Mom, I want you to know I'm sorry. What happened at the house shouldn't have been like that. No, it shouldn't have. Valerie and I were stressed. The new house, expenses, everything. I understand stress, Ethan. But that doesn't justify what you did to me. I know. And I ask for forgiveness. Valerie too feels it." He hesitated. "Valerie, well, she has her way of being. She's difficult sometimes, but she's not a bad person. Ethan, your wife gave me a maid's uniform. She treated me like trash and you said nothing." "Yes," I said something later. "When you left, what did you say? That she went too far? That it wasn't right? And what did she say?" "She said you were being very dramatic. That it was all your fault for leaving like that." "Of course." "So, she doesn't feel it. She's complicated. But she loves me, and I love her. I'm happy for you." "Mom, don't be like that." "Like what? Honest? Cold?" "I'm not cold. I'm just tired, Ethan. Tired of pretending everything is okay when it's not." He lowered his gaze. "What do you want me to do?" "Nothing. I don't expect anything from you." "That's not true. You want something. If not, you wouldn't have come." He was right. Why had I come? What did I expect from this meeting? I wanted to see you. I wanted to know if there was anything left of the boy I raised, of the boy who promised to take care of me. "It's still me, Mom." "No. You aren't that boy anymore. And maybe I have part of the blame. Maybe I gave you too much. Maybe I never taught you to value what you had. Don't say that. It's the truth. I gave you everything and never asked for anything in return. Now that I needed you, you weren't there." His eyes filled with tears. "I wanted to be there. But Valerie doesn't own you, Ethan. You chose to support her, and that's fine. She's your wife. But don't pretend I don't hurt. It hurts me too. Yes. It hurts you because you didn't call me in 3 months. You didn't ask where I was. If I was okay. If I had food. Nothing. I thought you needed space. Space. How convenient." He took my hand across the table. "Mom, please. I don't want to fight. I want us to fix this." I withdrew my hand gently. "Fix what exactly? Our relationship? You can't fix something that broke so deep, Ethan. Not this fast." "Then give me time. Give me the chance to regain your trust." "Okay, I'll give you time, but I'm not going back to your house, and I'm not going to pretend everything is okay. I'm not asking you that." "What are you asking me then? That you don't cut me out of your life? That we keep talking? That you give me a chance to show you I'm still your son?" I looked at him, really looked at him, and saw a man. Not the boy I remembered. A weak man. Cowardly in some ways, but also my son. "Okay," I said finally. "We can talk from time to time. But no pressure, no promises. We'll just see how it goes." "Thanks, Mom." We finished our coffees in uncomfortable silence. When I got up to leave, he got up too. "Shall I give you a ride?" "No thanks. I prefer to go alone. When will we see each other again?" "I don't know. I'll call you." "Okay." He hugged me, a clumsy, Brief hug. I left the coffee shop without looking back. On the train, back to my room, I felt strange. Not relieved, not happy, just empty. As if I had closed a door, but without knowing if it would ever open again. Have you ever forgiven someone, but without forgetting? Have you felt that weight of wanting to believe in someone again, but not being able to? Tell me. Sometimes forgiveness is more complicated than they tell us. The days after that meeting with Ethan were strange. I felt like I was floating in an intermediate place, not angry, not at peace, just existing. I continued with my routine. Dry cleaners from 8 to 7, sewing at night. Sundays entirely in front of the machine. The orders kept growing. I already had a small waiting list, 2 weeks, sometimes 3. One client asked me for 5 bridesmaid dresses for a wedding in December. Can you have them ready by December 15th? It was late October. Yes, but I need a deposit to buy the fabric. Of course. How much? Half. Perfect. I'll deposit it today. 1,000 yuan. It was the largest amount I had received since I started over. With that money, I could buy better quality fabric, thread, interfacing, invisible zippers, everything I needed. One afternoon, while cutting patterns in my room, Mrs. Higgins knocked on my door. Miriam, I need to speak with you. I opened. She had her "I'm coming to complain" face. Look, it's been several Sundays that people come looking for you to pick things up. And I don't like that. They are my clients. They just come to pick up their orders. They don't make noise. They don't cause trouble. I don't care. This is residential. You can't have a business here. It's not a business. I just do small jobs. Whatever. Either you stop receiving people here, or I find another place for you to live. My heart accelerated. Mrs. Higgins, please. I pay on time. I don't cause trouble. I just need the rules. Are the rules. Decide. She closed the door. I sat on the bed trembling. I couldn't lose this room. I didn't have money to put a deposit somewhere else. And with the orders I had, I couldn't afford to move right now. But I couldn't stop receiving clients either. It was impossible. How was I going to deliver the dresses if they couldn't come for them? I thought all night, looking for a solution. And then it occurred to me. Meeting points. I wasn't going to receive more clients in my room. Deliveries would be in coffee shops, in plazas, in public places. It was more complicated. Implied carrying the dresses, going out, coordinating schedules. But it was the only option. The next morning, before going to the dry cleaners, I knocked on Mrs. Higgins' door. I won't receive clients here anymore. Deliveries will be outside. Better be, because if I see one more person coming up, you're out. Don't worry. That same day, I notified all my clients. Please. From now on, deliveries will be at meeting points. Can be near your home or work at no extra cost. Everyone understood. No one canceled. And so I kept working, sewing, delivering. One Saturday afternoon, after delivering 3 dresses at different points in the city, I returned exhausted to my room. I threw myself on the bed without strength even to take off my shoes. The phone vibrated. It was Ethan. Mom, how are you? I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. I hadn't thought about him even once. I had been so busy, so focused on surviving, that I simply hadn't had mental space to think about our relationship. I replied, I'm fine, busy working. Can I call you tomorrow? I'm tired. Okay, I'll call you tomorrow. The next day, Sunday, while I was cutting fabric for the bridesmaid dresses, Ethan called. Mom, tell me, how have you been? Good. Working a lot. Still at the dry cleaners? Yes. And with the sewing? I have quite a few orders. That's good. I'm glad. Did you rent something better yet? No. I'm still in the same place. Is it safe? Yes. It's fine. Can I come see you, see where you live? No. I prefer not. Why? Because I don't want to. It's my space and I prefer it stays that way. Silence. Okay. I understand. Listen, I wanted to tell you something. What? Valerie and I are trying to have a baby. My heart stopped. A baby. Yes. We've been trying for several months, and well, we wanted you to know, because when it happens, obviously, we want you to be part of your grandson or granddaughter's life. A baby. Ethan was going to be a father. And I I was going to be a grandmother. I should have been excited. I should have felt joy, but I only felt empty. Mom? Are you there? Yes, I'm here. What do you think? Well, I'm happy for you if that's what you want. What do you want me to say, Ethan? It's your decision, your life, but you're going to be a grandmother. I thought you'd be excited. I am excited. But I also feel other things. Like what? Like sadness. Because I know that baby is going to grow up with Valerie as their main maternal figure, and I'm going to be the grandmother who sells. Occasionally. In awkward meetings. In coffee shops. It doesn't have to be like that. But it will be like that. Because things between us aren't right, Ethan. And bringing a baby isn't going to fix them. I'm not saying a baby is going to fix anything. I just wanted to share it with you. And I appreciate it. Really. But I need time to process this. Okay, I understand. Does Valerie know you're calling me? Yes. She also wants things to improve between you two. I hesitated a lot. Seriously? Yes, really. She says what happened was a mistake, that she was stressed. Ethan, Valerie has never apologized to me. She hasn't even tried to talk to me. It's just that it's hard for her to express herself. But she does feel it. If she really felt it, she would call me. She would look for me. But she doesn't. Maybe she's afraid you'll reject her. She has every right to be afraid. Just like I was afraid when I was left with nothing and you turned your backs on me. Okay, Mom, I get it. Are you still angry? No, I'm not angry. I'm hurt. There's a difference, he sighed. Well, just wanted to tell you. When we have good news, I'll let you know. Okay. I love you, Mom. Me too. I hung up. I stayed seated on the bed with the phone in my hands. A baby, my grandchild. How was that going to work? Valerie going to let me see him? Was I going to have to ask permission to hold my own grandchild? Was I going to have to pretend everything was okay between us to be near that baby? Tears started falling uncontrollably. For the first time in weeks, I cried. I cried for everything I was missing. For the relationship with my son, for the future with my grandchild that I probably was never going to have. But in the midst of the crying, something else emerged. Rage. Rage for allowing myself to be in this position. Rage for not having demanded more, for not having set boundaries sooner. I wiped my tears. Got up. I wasn't going to go on like this. I wasn't going to let my life depend on Ethan and Valerie's decisions. I wasn't going to wait for crumbs of affection, permissions to see my grandchild, awkward meetings in coffee shops. I was going to build my own life, my own path, and if they wanted to be part of that, they would have to earn it. The next few days, I worked like never before. I finished the 5 bridesmaid dresses. They were perfect. Emerald green, empire waist, fluid fabric, elegant but comfortable. The bride picked them up 2 weeks before the wedding. Mrs. Miriam, they are spectacular. My bridesmaids are going to cry when they see them. I'm so glad. Do you have cards? I want to recommend you to all my friends. Yes, I have. I took out some cards I had ordered. Simple. With my name, my number. Miriam Sewing. Custom work. Quality guaranteed. She gave me a $100 tip for the beautiful work and for having them on time. $100 extra. I saved it. Every dollar counted. Miriam, can I ask you a question? Sure. Do you know how to make uniforms? Like, uniforms for companies? Yes. I made many in my factory. School uniforms, office, restaurant. Why? Because my cousin has a restaurant and is looking for someone to make uniforms for the waiters. I told him about you. Are you interested? How many uniforms? 10 for now. But if they fit well, he'll need more. He's opening more branches. Yes. Of course I'm interested. Give me his number. That same night I called Gabrielle's cousin. His name was David. Mrs. Miriam, Gabrielle told me about you. Can you make restaurant uniforms? Yes. Pants, shirts, aprons, whatever you need. Perfect. How much would you charge for 10 complete uniforms? Black shirt, black pants, white apron. I did quick math. $1,500. All included. Fabric, making, finishes. Sounds fair. How much time do you need? 3 weeks. Perfect. Can you come to the restaurant tomorrow to take measurements? Yes. What time? At 10 a.m. Before we open. I'll be there. The next day, I asked permission at the dry cleaners to arrive an hour late. Gabrielle covered me. I went to the restaurant. It was called Home Taste, a small but nice place, clean, good decoration. David welcomed me, a man about 40, kind, professional. Mrs. Miriam, good you came. Look, what I need is something comfortable, but looks good, nothing too formal, but not too casual either. I understand. Do you have a design in mind? Honestly, no. I trust your judgment. Okay, I'm going to do something classic. Collared shirt, long sleeve that can be rolled up, pants with elastic waist for comfort, apron with pockets. Sounds perfect. I took measurements of all the waiters, 8 men, 2 women. When do you need them? By December 15th. We're doing a grand reopening. You'll have them by the 10th. Excellent. I'll give you half now. $750. And the rest on delivery. Perfect. He gave me the money in cash. $750. I left there feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Hope that this could grow, that I could build something real again. That same week I bought fabric. Lots of fabric. Black, white. Good quality. I worked every night. Every Sunday. The sewing machine ran until 1 a.m. Until 2 a.m. Mrs. Higgins knocked on my door one night. Miriam, it's very late. Turn off that machine. Sorry, Mrs. Higgins. Almost done. Every day the same story. People want to sleep. Sorry. Tomorrow I'll finish earlier. But I didn't finish earlier. I couldn't. I had delivery dates, commitments, clients who trusted me. One night, while sewing, the phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number. Hi. Someone gave me your number. I'm Sophia. I need a wedding dress. Do you make wedding dresses? My heart jumped. Wedding dresses were the most complicated, the most delicate, the most pressure, but also paid the best. Yes. I make wedding dresses. When do you need it? By March. I have time. But I want something unique, something I can't find in stores. We can make an appointment so you can tell me what you have in mind. Perfect. Saturday at 11? Yes. Where? Is there a coffee shop where we can meet to talk quietly? Yes, there's one in Wicker Park. Toscano Cafe. Do you know it? Yes. See you there. Saturday I arrived at the cafe 15 minutes early. Sophia arrived on time. A young woman, maybe 35. Elegant. Self-assured. Mrs. Miriam? Yes. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. We sat. Ordered coffee. Look, I'm going to be honest. I've been to many stores and everything I see is very commercial. Very standard. I want something different. Something that is mine. I understand. Do you have any idea what you want? She took out her phone. Showed me Pinterest photos. I like these styles. Vintage with lace. But I don't want something too ornate. I want elegance. Simplicity. I love it. I can do it. How much do you charge? This was the tough question. What was my work worth? How much should I charge? I thought fast. Fabric. Time. Fittings. Adjustments. $2,500. Sophia didn't hesitate. Seems fair. Do you need a deposit? Yes. Have to buy the fabric and materials. Perfect. I'll deposit it today. I couldn't believe it. $1,250 for a dress deposit. When can we start? Next week. I need to take your measurements and do some sketches for you to approve. Perfect. I'll text you to coordinate. I left that coffee shop floating. A wedding dress, $2,500. With that money I could do so many things. I could save. I could buy a better sewing machine. I could rent a bigger place. I could build something real. That afternoon, walking down the street, I passed a small commercial space for rent. Nothing fancy, but good location. I peeked through the window. It was empty, dirty, but it had potential. There was a number on the sign. For rent. I wrote it down. It wasn't time yet. I didn't have the money for rent or deposit, but soon I might have it. I kept walking, and for the first time in months I smiled. A real smile of hope, knowing I was building something no one could take away from me, something that was completely mine. That night in my room, I took out my old notebook. The list I had written months ago, things I know how to do. Sew, design, patterns, manage, sell, survive. I added one more. Start over. And underneath I wrote, things I'm going to achieve. Rent a shop, hire help, grow the business, recover my dignity. Show Ethan he doesn't need to pity me. Prove to myself I can. I closed the notebook and kept sewing. Because every stitch was a step. Every dress was proof that I wasn't finished. That I was just getting started. I still wonder, how many times do we have to hit rock bottom to realize how strong we are? You too have discovered strengths you didn't know you had? Tell me. I want to know what made you get up. December arrived with unusual cold for the city. I kept working non-stop. The restaurant uniforms, Sophia's wedding dress, smaller orders that kept coming. I slept 4 hours, sometimes 3. My hands were wrecked, cut, with new calluses over old calluses. But every night, counting the money I had earned, putting it in a shoebox under my bed, I felt something like peace. Not happiness yet, but hope. The restaurant uniforms were ready on December 8th. 2 days earlier than promised, David received them at his restaurant. He checked them one by one. Mrs. Miriam, these are impeccable. The quality is excellent. Thank you. You know what? I'm going to need 20 more uniforms for the new branch we opened in Evanston. Can you? Yes. Of course I can. Perfect. I'll deposit the rest I owe you and the deposit for the new ones. He deposited $2,250. $750 balance. $1,500 deposit for the new ones. $2,250 in my account. Added to what I had saved. I had almost $5,000. $5,000 I had earned with my own hands in less than 3 months. That night in my room, I took out the number of the shop I had seen. I dialed. A man answered. Hello? Good evening. Calling about the space for rent in Wicker Park. Ah, yes. Interested? Yes. How much is rent? $1,500 a month, plus 2 months deposit. $4,500 to move in. I had it. Almost. Can I see it? Sure. Tomorrow at 10. Perfect. The next day I asked permission at the dry cleaners again. Gabrielle looked at me with curiosity. Everything okay? Yes. Just have an important appointment. Okay. Don't worry. I arrived at the shop at 10 sharp. The owner was an older man. Mr. Hector. Come in. Come in. Look. The place isn't big, but has good foot traffic. And the area is safe. We entered. Smelled musty. Walls were stained. Floor cracked cement. But it had potential. It had a big window facing the street, a back space that could serve as storage, a small bathroom, and above all, it had natural light. What kind of business you thinking? Sewing, tailor shop. Ah, perfect. Used to be a stationery store here, but closed a year ago. I walked through the space, imagining a cutting table here, sewing machine there, a space to serve clients, a rack to display some pieces. I'm interested. Okay. Need 2 months deposit and first month up front. That's $4,500 to get in. I can give it to you in 2 weeks, waiting on a payment. All right. But I'm going to ask you to leave $200 to hold it so no one else sees it. Perfect. I took $200 from my purse. Money I had saved for emergencies. He gave me a handwritten receipt. In 2 weeks, if you don't bring the rest, you lose the deposit. Understood? Understood. I walked out shaking. Not fear. Excitement. A shop. My own shop. I was going to have my own workspace. Just needed $4,300 more. I had it almost. Just needed about $1,000 more. Sophia's wedding dress would give me the other $1,250 when I delivered. And I had other small orders that would give me about $500 more. I was going to make it. Those days I worked harder than ever. Finished the small orders. A pair of pants, a skirt, 2 blouses. Delivered everything on time. Everything paid. And the wedding dress. The wedding dress was taking shape. French lace. A-line cut. Open back. Short train. It was the most beautiful dress I had made in years. Sophia came every week for fittings. Every time she was more enchanted. Mrs. Miriam, it's perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Still need final adjustments and the hem, but it's looking spectacular. In the third fitting, while adjusting the waist, Sophia asked me, "Do you have kids?" The question took me by surprise. Yes. A son. Is he married? Yes. How nice. Going to have grandkids soon? I stayed quiet a few seconds. I hope so. Must be excited. Yes. It's complicated. Sophia turned to look at me in the mirror. Complicated why? I don't know why I told her. Maybe because I needed to talk about it. Maybe because Sophia had that energy that makes you feel safe. My son and I don't have a good relationship right now. Things happened, and although he wants to fix it, I'm not ready yet. What happened? If it's not too prying. When I lost my company, I went to live with him, and his wife didn't want me there, made me feel like a burden, and my son didn't defend me. Sophia nodded slowly. That hurts more when it's your own son. Yes. Hurts a lot. And now I'm here starting over alone. And it's okay. I'm learning I don't need anyone's approval to fend for myself. Wow, that's very strong. I didn't have a choice. Sophia looked at me through the mirror with respect. You know what, Mrs. Miriam? You are my hero. I laughed, but it was a laugh with tears. I'm no hero. Just a woman surviving. Exactly. And that is heroic. I finished the fitting. Sophia changed. Before leaving, she hugged me. Thank you. Not just for the dress, but for sharing your story with me. Makes me feel if you could get up after all that. I can handle whatever comes too. That's right. We all can. That night in my room, I thought about that conversation, about how my story could inspire someone else, about how pain, when you process it, can turn into strength. On December 14th, 2 weeks after holding the shop, I had the full money, $4,500 in cash. Went to find Mr. Hector, gave him the money. He counted every bill. Perfect. Here is your contract. Sign here, and here, and here. I signed with a trembling hand. Keys are yours. Can start whenever. Rent is due the 15th of every month. Thank you. I took the keys. Cold. Heavy. Real. Walked to the shop. Opened the door. Entered. The empty space. Silent. Smelling of dust. But it was mine. I sat on the floor. In the middle of the empty shop. And cried. Cried from relief. From gratitude. From pride. Because this was mine. No one had given it to me. No one had helped me. I had done it alone. With my hands, with my effort, with my dignity intact. Took out my phone, took a photo of the empty shop, posted on Facebook. After months of hard work. Today I open my sewing shop, small, but mine. If you know anyone who needs alterations, custom dresses, uniforms, anything, I'll be here. Miriam's Sewing. Quality and dedication guaranteed. Added the address. My number. In less than an hour I had 20 comments. Congratulations. So proud, Miriam. You deserve it. Going to recommend you to my friends. And then I saw a comment that froze my blood. It was from Valerie. Good, you found something to do. Ethan and I wish you the best. I read that comment 5 times. Every word was a blow. Something to do. As if this were a hobby. As if it weren't something real. Something important. And then Ethan and I, always together. Always a united front. I deleted the comment. Blocked her. I wasn't going to let her contaminate this moment. The next days I spent cleaning the shop. Swept, mopped, washed windows, painted walls white. Gabrielle helped me one Sunday. Brought her husband. Between the 3 of us, we left the place shining. Looks beautiful, Miriam. Thanks. Thanks for everything. Going to quit the dry cleaners? Not yet. Need more clients before leaving. But soon. When you quit, Let me know to get your payout ready. I will. I bought a big work table. Used, but in good condition. $100. Moved my sewing machine to the shop, put it by the window, hung a simple curtain to divide the space, front for customers. Back my workspace. Bought an old clothing rack at a flea market. $20. Ordered a simple sign, Miriam's Sewing, alterations and custom design, cost $100. But worth every penny. December 20th I opened officially, no customer the first day. Nor the second. Third day an older lady arrived. Do hems here? Yes. Sure. I have 3 pants. How much? $10 a pant. Okay. When? Tomorrow. Perfect. My first customer in my own shop. $30. But it wasn't the money. It was the symbol. I was doing it. I was building something real. December 24th, Christmas Eve. I closed the shop early, had no plans, no family to celebrate with. Lucy had invited me, but I refused. Didn't want to be uncomfortable. Ethan had sent a text. Mom, want to come to dinner? Valerie made turkey. I replied. Thanks, but going to spend the night working, have orders to deliver. No, he replied. That night in my shop alone I finished Sophia's wedding dress. The last stitch, the last adjustment, perfect, hung it on the rack. Looked at it under the lamplight. It was more than a dress. It was proof that I could create something beautiful, even in the middle of chaos, even after losing everything. At 11 p.m. heard fireworks outside, families celebrating. I was alone in an empty shop on Christmas Eve. But I didn't feel alone. I felt free. Free of expectations, free of disappointments, free of depending on anyone else. Took out my phone. Dialed Ethan's number. He answered on the 3rd ring. Mom, you okay? Yes, I'm okay. Just wanted to wish you Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Mom. Sure you don't want to come? We're still up. Sure. Thanks. Where are you? In my shop. Finishing a job. Your shop? Yes, I rented a storefront, opened my own sewing shop. Silence. Seriously? Yes. When? A week ago. And why didn't you tell me? Why? Because I didn't need to. Didn't need your approval or your opinion. Just did it. Mom. That's incredible. Thanks. Can I come see it someday? When it's ready? Okay. Understand. Hey, Mom. I'm proud of you. Those words. After everything. I'm proud of you. Should have been excited, should have cried with happiness, but just felt empty. Because those words arrived late. Too late. Thanks, Ethan. Take care. I hung up. Sat on the floor of the shop under the dim light and understood something. Understood that Ethan's pride didn't fill me like before, that his approval wasn't what I sought anymore, that I had found something more important, my own pride, my own approval, and that was enough. December 26th. Sophia came for her dress, saw it, tried it on, cried. It's perfect. Exactly what I dreamed. So glad. She gave me an envelope. Here is the rest, and something extra for everything. Opened the envelope. There was $1,500. Sophia. It was only $1,250 owed. I know. But you deserve more for the work. For the dedication. For everything. She hugged me. Thank you, Mrs. Miriam. Not just for the dress, but for reminding me women are strong, that we can handle anything. We can. Just have to believe it. When Sophia left, I stared at the money. $1,500. With what I had saved, already had almost $6,000. Could buy a second machine. Could hire someone to help. Could grow. But above all, could prove to Ethan, to Valerie, and to myself that I wasn't a victim. I was a survivor, and I was just getting started. You too have had moments where you realize you no longer need the approval of who used to be everything to you? Moments where you discover your own voice is enough? Tell me. Sometimes that is the most painful revelation and the most liberating. The new year arrived with promise. Not the empty promises people make over champagne, but real promises. Commitments to myself. January 2nd, I quit the dry cleaners. Gabrielle hugged me when I gave the news. Knew this day would come. Makes me sad to lose you, but makes me happier to see you grow. Won't forget you. Thanks for everything. For the sewing machine. For believing in me. For everything. Go and conquer the world, Miriam. She gave me my final pay. $500. Not much, but helped. Now my time was completely mine. For the shop. To build. First days of January were slow. Few customers. Some people entered, asked prices, left, but little by little, orders began to arrive. A customer from Facebook came for a graduation dress. A man needed to fix 5 suits. A teacher ordered 15 uniforms for her dance school. 15 uniforms. Was my biggest order so far. When do you need them? End of January. For the February festival. You'll have them. Gave me a deposit of $1,000. With that money, bought a second sewing machine. Used but functional, $400. And then I made a decision. Needed help. Couldn't do it all alone. Not if I wanted to grow. Posted on Facebook. Helper needed for sewing shop. Basic experience necessary. Responsible. Dedicated. Interested, send message. Received 12 messages in 2 days. Interviewed 5 women. The last one was named Patty. 43 years old. Divorced. 2 teenage kids. I've sewn all my life from home, but never worked in a formal shop. Why do you want to work here? Because I need the money, but also because I need to get out of my house. Need to feel I'm doing something more than just surviving. I understood completely. Job is Monday to Saturday, 9 to 6. $15 an hour to start, if it works out. We can negotiate more later. Sounds perfect. Can you start Monday? Yes. Patty started Jan 7th. She was good, fast, careful with details, and above all, reliable. With her, I finished the 15 uniforms on time, perfect. Black leotards, chiffon skirts, with the school logo embroidered. Teacher was delighted. Paid the rest, $1,000 more, and recommended me to 3 other dance schools. Things were growing fast, but then something happened. Jan 15th. Afternoon. Cutting fabric. Someone entered the shop, looked up. Ethan. Mom. Paralyzed with scissors in hand. What are you doing here? Came to see you. Wanted to see your shop. How did you know the address? It's on your Facebook. Of course. Patty was in back sewing. Ethan looked around. Machines. Cutting table. Hanging fabrics. Rack with finished pieces. Wow. This is real. Yes, it's real. How long have you been here? Almost a month. Already have customers? Yes, quite a few. He stayed quiet looking. Mom, this is incredible. Really? Thanks. Can I help you with anything? Question took me by surprise. Help me with what? Don't know. Money. Contacts. I know people who might need uniforms or alterations. Don't need help, Ethan, but could be faster, could grow more. Going to grow at my own pace, without anyone's help. Why are you like this? Like what? So proud, so closed off. Laughed without humor. Proud, Ethan? 6 months ago I was left with nothing. No house, no company, no money, and you gave me a maid's uniform. And now you tell me I'm proud. I know, and I already apologized for that. No. You didn't apologize. You said it got out of control. Said maybe it was a mistake. That's not apologizing. Okay. You're right. I apologize. Really. What happened was wrong, very wrong. And I'm sorry. And Valerie? She feels it too? Silence. Valerie has her way of seeing things. That's not an answer. No. She doesn't feel it, thinks you exaggerated, that you left out of pride. Of course. Because she doesn't understand what dignity is. Mom, please, don't talk about her like that. Why not? Why do I have to keep silent? Why do I have to pretend what she did didn't hurt? Because she's my wife, and I'm your mother. I know you're my mother. That's why I'm here trying to fix this. Can't fix it, Ethan. Not like this. Then what do you want me to do? Tell me. What do you need from me? I looked at him. Really looked at him. And in that moment I understood there was nothing he could do, because the problem wasn't just what happened, it was who he had become. Nothing. Don't need anything from you. That's not true. Yes, it is. For months thought I needed your forgiveness, your repentance, that you acknowledge what you did. But not anymore. Not anymore what? Don't need that anymore. Because I realized something. Realized the most important person I needed forgiveness from was myself. Don't understand. Needed to forgive myself for letting this happen, for putting myself in a position where someone, even my own son, could treat me like that. And I did. Forgave myself and freed myself. Tears started falling down my face, down his. Mom, Ethan, I love you. Always going to love you. You're my son. But I can't carry this pain anymore. Can't wait for you to change. Or Valerie to change. Have to move forward with or without you. Don't say that. It's the truth. Patty came out from back, saw the scene, stayed quiet. Ethan wiped tears. So what? Don't want me part of your life anymore? Didn't say that. Said I can't expect anything from you. If you want to be in my life, perfect. But going to be on my terms, not yours, and definitely not Valerie's. She's my wife, Mom. I can't. Simply. Not asking you to choose. Telling you I already chose my peace, my dignity, my life. And me? Where do I fit? Where you decide to stay. That's your decision, not mine. He stayed quiet, looking at the floor. I'm going to be a dad. Words fell like stones. What? Valerie is pregnant. 8 weeks. World stopped. A baby. My grandchild. Congratulations. That's it? Congratulations? What do you want me to say? Don't know. Thought you'd be excited. That? Of course I'm excited. But also afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid that baby grows up without knowing me. That Valerie pushes me away. That you allow it. That won't happen. Already happened, Ethan. Pushed me away once. What guarantees it won't happen again? Because now is different. It's my child, our child, and I want you to know them, be part of their life. And Valerie? Silence. Going to talk to her. Going to tell her she has to accept you, that you're my mother, that you're the grandmother of our baby. Don't want her to accept me out of obligation, Ethan. Want respect, and if she can't give it, then prefer not to be there. Mom. Please. Don't do this. Not doing anything, just setting boundaries. Something I should have done a long time ago. Patty touched my shoulder softly. Miriam. Going out a moment to buy thread. Need anything? No thanks. Patty left, leaving us alone. Ethan sat in a chair with head in hands. Don't know what to do. Don't have to do anything now. Just think. Think what kind of father you want to be. What kind of family you want to build. And when you know, we talk. And meanwhile, I'm going to keep working. Building my life. And when your baby is born, let me know. And we see how to proceed. Just like that? Not easy. Nothing of this is easy, but necessary. Got up, walked to door, before leaving turned back. Love you, Mom. Love you too. He left. Door closed behind him. Stayed alone, in middle of shop, and then cried like hadn't cried in months. Cried for the boy I lost, for the man he became, for the baby going to be born and maybe never know as should. Cried for everything that could have been and wasn't. But also cried relief, because said everything needed to say, because set boundaries, because chose my peace over his comfort. Patty returned half-hour later. Brought coffee, brought 2 in case needed one. Thanks. Sat together drinking coffee in silence. That was your son? Asked finally. Yes. Look-alike. Same eyes. Yes. But nothing else. Want to talk about it? No. Prefer to work. Okay. And worked all afternoon. All night. Cutting, sewing, creating. Because that was what I knew how to do. Didn't know how to fix relationship with son. Didn't know how to make Valerie respect me. Didn't know how going to make life with grandchild maybe couldn't see. But knew how to sew. Knew how to create. Knew how to build something beautiful from scratch, and for now that had to be enough. That night in my room, took out mother's ring. Looked under light. Mom, don't know if did right thing. Don't know if should be softer or harder. Don't know anything. Ring shined silent. But know you taught me not to crawl. Not to beg for love. Not to accept crumbs. Put it away again. Slept. Not well, but slept. Next days were weird. Hoped Ethan called, sent message, but didn't. And neither did I. Patty noticed distraction. You okay? Yes. Just thinking about your son. Yes. Want advice? Sure. Let him go. If comes back, good. If not, also good. But don't cling. Because that only going to destroy you. Speak from experience? Yes. Ex-husband. Loved him so much, forgot to love me, and when left didn't know who was. Took years to recover, and now I am me. And that's enough. You're right. Always am. Smiled and kept working. Jan 25th, big order arrived. Cleaning company needed 50 uniforms by end of February. 50 uniforms. Immense. Impossible alone. Even with Patty. What do we do? Asked Patty. Accept it. And hire someone else. Have money for that? Yes. And did. Hired another woman. Rose. Pięćdziesiątjeden. Widow. Expert in industrial sewing. When start? Tomorrow. And with 3 machines, 3 women. Shop became something real. Solid. Something no one could take. Last day of Jan, closed shop early. Counted month's money. Had earned $8,000. $8,000 in a month. After rent. Patty and Rose's wages. Materials. Lights. Left $3,000 net profit. $3,000. Not a fortune, but more than best month at dry cleaners. And just getting started. Sat on shop floor alone. Smiled. Because had lost son. At least for now. Had lost chance to be grandma wanted. Had lost family dreamed. But gained something else. Gained myself. And that had no price. Still wonder if did right. If should be more flexible. Understanding. But also no, can't sacrifice peace to keep relationship that destroys me. And you? What would you have done? February came with longer days. More light. More hope. Shop ran like clockwork. Patty, Rose, and I worked in perfect sync, like worked together all life. 50 uniforms ready, Feb 20th, 5 days early. Manager came to pick up. Checked one by one. Excellent work, Mrs. Miriam. Can I make recurring order? Need 30 uniforms every 2 months. Of course. Perfect. Send contract next week. Recurring contract. Meant stable income. Predictable. Real. Patty and Rose excited. This going to grow, Miriam? No. Just starting. Yes. Just starting. That week hired 4th person. Anna, 23. Fresh out of design school. No experience, much talent, can't pay much, but can learn and grow with business. Perfect. Not looking for money now. Looking for experience. Then welcome. With 4 machines. 4 women. Shop felt alive. Felt like home. One day, mid-Feb cutting patterns. Young woman entered, maybe 30, pregnant, 6 months. Excuse me, do maternity clothes? Never have, but can try. Just can't find anything like. All ugly or expensive. Sit. Tell me what need. Name Andrea. Expecting first baby. Girl. Want comfy dresses. But look good. Not look like wearing tent. Laughed. Understand. Going to design something special just for you. Took measures. Showed fabrics. Sketched. How much? $60 a dress. If order 3. Discount. $150 for 3. Perfect. Want them. Worked on dresses with special care, soft fabrics, cuts adjusting to body without squeezing, warm feminine colors. When Andrea came for them, cried, beautiful, feel beautiful, thanks, welcome, congrats on baby, thanks, wish mom could see her, died 2 years ago, heart squeezed, she'll be with you always in that baby, hope so. After left, thought about Ethan, baby, me, knowing grandchild or stranger. No news from Ethan in 3 weeks. No call. Message. Part wanted to call. Ask how Valerie was, pregnancy, but didn't, because if wanted me part of life, had to show with actions, not words. Feb 25th, birthday, 60. No one remembered. Lucy didn't call. Ethan didn't call. No one. But Patty remembered. Today your birthday, right? How new? Told me month ago by accident. Wrote down. Yes. 60 today. We'll have to celebrate. No. Prefer work. None of that. At 6 p.m., when closed shop, Patty. Rose. Anna surprised me. Little cake, candles, sodas. Happy birthday, Miriam. Sang. Blew candles. Cried because these women barely knew weeks remembered. And son, own son, didn't. That night in room got text. From Ethan. Mom, can talk? Took 10 minutes reply. Yes. About what? Can come see you tomorrow shop? Okay. At 5. Next day passed slow. Patty noticed nerves. You okay? Sun coming? Good or bad? Don't know yet. At 5 sharp, Ethan arrived. Brought flowers. Small bouquet roses. Happy birthday, Mom. Sorry, didn't call yesterday. Took flowers. How new was yesterday? Always knew, but didn't call. No, and sorry. Just been thinking a lot about what said. And right about what? Everything. Not defending. Letting Valerie treat bad. Being coward. Sat down. Sat facing. And what going to do? Talked Valerie. Told things have changed. That you, Mom. Going be grandma. She has respect. And what said? Got mad. Said always defend you, never her side. And what said? Said not about sides, about doing right. And right is Mom part of life without conditions, humiliations. And she accepted? Silence. No. Didn't accept. Said if insist. She going Mom Scottsdale, taking baby. Heart sank. Ethan. But don't care, Mom. Tired, choosing. Tired feeling always wrong. Told her if wants go, go. But baby mine too. Not going let keep me from you. Couldn't believe hearing. Really said that? Yes. And mean it, Ethan. Baby needs 2 parents. Can't separate Valerie for me, not separating for you. Separating because don't recognize who am with her. Become someone don't like. Someone allows wife treat Mom bad. Tears started falling. Down face. His. Don't want marriage destroyed for me, not destroyed for you. Already destroyed. Just didn't want see. Sure about this? Yes, very sure. And want know something else. What? Admire you. Proud of you. Really? How got up? Built all this. Strongest person no. Not strong. Just survived. Strong. I couldn't do what did. Would given up. Hugged him. Long, tight hug. Love you, my boy. Always have. Love you too, Mom. And sorry. Sorry everything. Stayed like that. Hugging. Crying. Patty Rosanna watched from back silence. Separated. Asked, now what happens? Don't know. Valerie says needs time. Going to think. Meanwhile went Mom's. How long? 3 days ago. And you? Confused. Sad. But relieved, like finally breathe. Talked? Yes. Every day. Says fine. Baby fine. But needs space. Give space. Meanwhile, think what marriage want. What father want be. Will. Want stay dinner. Can make something quick. No thanks. Need be alone. Process. Okay. If need, here. No. Thanks. Left hand's pockets. Shoulders dropped. My son. Boy. Lost. Confused. But looking be better. And that enough for now. That night Patty stayed. You okay? Yes. Think so. Son loves you. Shows. No. But sometimes love not enough. Right. But start. 2 weeks passed. Ethan came shop almost every day. After work. Saturday talked. Sometimes important things. Sometimes nothing. Told Valerie still Scottsdale. Talked but tough. Says won't return if you part life. Then let go. Really think? Think no one should ask choose wife mom. If asks, doesn't love right. But baby have two parents together, separate. Have love. That matters. Mid-March got call. Unknown. Hello, Miriam Bennett? Yes. Chamber Commerce. Inform nominated businesswoman breakthrough year. Mute. Excuse me? Yes. Client nominated. Sophia. Remember? Yes. Sure. Wrote emotional letter. Story. How lost company. Rebuilt scratch. Committee impressed. Ceremony, April 30th. Can attend? Yes. Yes, can. Perfect. Invitation mail. Congrats. Hung up. Patty Rose, Anna watching. What happened? Nominated award. Businesswoman breakthrough. Screamed. Jumped. Hugged. Miriam incredible. Don't know if win. Doesn't matter. Already won everything achieved, told Ethan. Mom incredible. So proud. Thanks. Come with me ceremony? Want? Sure. You son. Want there. Then coming. April 30th. Bought dress. Not expensive but elegant. Navy blue. Did hair salon, makeup, mirror, looked different. Not just older, more dignified. Like everything happened gave strength didn't have before. Ethan picked up. Suit. Handsome like dad. Look beautiful, Mom. Thanks. You too. Went hotel. Huge. Full elegant people. Business. Politics. Press. Felt out place. But Ethan took arm. Deserve be here more anyone. Ceremony started. Awards given. Entrepreneur year. Sustainable. Innovation. And then. Now award businesswoman breakthrough. Recognizes woman against odds built rebuilt business scratch. 3 finalists. Said names. Mine last. Miriam Bennett. Founder Miriam Sewing. After losing textile company 32 years. Rebuilt life from room to shop. Employing 4 women. Growing. Applause. Heart beating explode. And winner is Miriam Bennett. Couldn't believe. Ethan screamed. Hugged. One mom. One. Got up trembling. Walked stage. Received award. Glass plaque name engraved. Mic given. Mrs. Bennett. Few words. Looked audience. Ethan front row crying. Breathed. 7 months ago, had nothing. No house. Company. Money. Only hands. Will not quit. This award not just mine. All women lost everything had, start scratch. All humiliated found strength get up, all sewing, cleaning, working, surviving, because stronger than believe. Never too late start over. Thanks, long applause, downstage, Ethan hugged, love mom, and sorry. Sorry everything. Nothing forgive. Left hotel, fresh night, starry. Dinner? Asked Ethan. Yes, love to. Went small restaurant. Ate talked, laughed like before complications. Mom. Say something. What? Valerie and I getting divorce. Heart stopped. Sure? Yes. Talked calm. No yelling. Both agree. Not working. And bringing baby broken marriage not fair. And baby? Shared custody. She lives Scottsdale. Me here. But be good parents both. And you part life promise. And Valerie agrees? No choice. My child too. Going fight for her. For right no, Grandma. Hugged. Going be great, Dad. Going try. Night room put award table. Looked shining. Understood. Understood not end. Beginning. Lost so much. Gained so much more. Gained myself. That worth more any award. Sometimes life takes everything teach you enough. Don't need anything but own strength. You too moment changes. Tell me. Months following constant growth. Award open doors imagined. Newspaper. Magazines. Talk University entrepreneurship. Me, Miriam Bennett, talking 100 students looking like important. Told story no filters. Bankruptcy. Maid uniform. Room. Told getting up. Not quitting. Finding strength. Girl approached crying. Thanks, Mrs. Miriam. Mom lost job. Weeks crying useless. Going tell story, no not alone. Tell never alone. Can start over. Times necessary. Business grew. May hired 2 more. June 3. 9 working shop. 9 stories. Surviving building together. Patty partner. Rose design line. Anna design award. Lucy training manager. Sister arrived broken now, teaches others, sew, create, rise. Ethan Valerie together? No. Separated, but peaceful. Therapy boundaries respect. Elena born June. Ethan called. Mom born. Girl. Heart jumped. How is? Perfect. Black hair, huge eyes. And Valerie? Fine. Tired, fine. Name? Miriam. Miriam? Voice broke. Named after me? Yes. My idea. Valerie accepted. Thanks. Thanks, love. Can come see tomorrow hospital? Valerie agrees. Yes. Talked. She wants start over you. Everything. Really? Yes. Says pregnancy time think. Understand. Wants Miriam have grandma life. Okay. Tomorrow. Next day hospital gift. Small dress sewed hand. Knocked. Ethan opened. Come, Mom. Entered Valerie, bed hair up, no makeup. Look different. Human. Vulnerable. Arms granddaughter Miriam. Hi, Miriam. Valerie. Hi. Want hold? Approached, trembling. Valerie gave careful. Baby perfect. Small, warm. Wrinkled face newborns. Opened eyes saw Ethan, saw husband, saw mom, saw family. Tears fell. Hi, Miriam. Grandma. Baby looked huge, eyes recognized. Miriam. Need say something. Looked up. Valerie serious. Oh, apology. Big one. Valerie. No, let's speak. What did uniform everything wrong? Very wrong. No excuse. Angry life decisions paid you. Sorry, really. Why angry? Because lost things too. Dad, 15. Mom married 3 times. Never important. Burden. When came saw threat. Taking Ethan. Never wanted take. No. Now no. But moment didn't see. Saw woman had everything successful. I achieved nothing. Envied. Made pay insecurity. Thanks telling. Something else. Saw award. Interview. Realized. Realized you woman want be. Strong, independent, resilient. Instead admire attacked. Sorry. Sat chair beside bed holding Miriam. Valerie. All make mistakes. Hurt people shouldn't. Important recognize. Do different now. Think. Can start over? Can try. Thanks. Ethan corner crying silence. Thanks, Mom, giving chance. Family that. Chances again. Spent 2 hours hospital holding Miriam talking, Valerie laughing, Ethan. First time felt peace. Not perfect, but hope. Weeks following visited Miriam almost daily. Valerie Ethan decided try again. Different. Therapy limits respect. Don't know work, Ethan said afternoon. But going try Miriam. All can do. Try. Afternoon July working call. Unknown, known but not seen months. Lucy, sister. Miriam. Lucy, what happened? Need talk. Can come see? Yes, sure. Hour later, Lucy shop. Looked bad. Thin dark circles, clothes wrinkled. You okay? No, not okay. Sat gave coffee. Bob left. What? Left 2 weeks ago, other woman, work colleague, left alone, debts, kids, everything. Lucy sorry much, worst now understand, past. Understand, feel, left nothing, no one, world on top. Need money? No. Well, yes. But not came that. Came ask forgiveness. Forgiveness, why? Not supporting needed. Leaving alone. Prioritizing Bob over you. Sister failed, past Lucy. No past. Because now I where you were don't know do. Thought maybe help. Help how? Don't know. Advice anything. Looked sister always stable life, marriage, family, normal now broken like me. Lucy going be okay. Not today, tomorrow, but okay. Stronger believe. Don't feel strong. Me neither felt strong. But was. You too. Need time, support. Can work here? Shop. No so, little can learn. Really want? Yes, need outhouse. Need do something feel useful. Okay, start Monday. Thanks, Miriam. Thanks. Hugged felt tremble. Going be okay both. Moment hug close circle. Sister not there needed but now needed me. Gave what didn't give. Support compassion hand extended. Not revenge. Karma not punishment teaching. August shop growing. Contracts 6 companies. Waiting list 3 months custom, Patty suggested. Miriam need bigger space. No. Local small, 10 people barely fit. Need bigger, better ventilation light. Right. Week searched, found perfect, twice size, 2 baths, backspace storage parking, rent $3,000, much but could pay. Signed contract moved September. Moving day team helped. Lucy, Patty, Rose, Anna all. Loaded machines, tables, fabrics, racks. Installed new space looked. Look this, said. Look built you, Patty said. No built together all. Night after all left alone new shop. Walked space, touching machines, tables, walls, clean thought path 4 square meters to here. Took phone called Ethan. Mom, hi love. Can come? Want meet new shop? Coming. Half hour later, Ethan arrived, Miriam arms. Wow, Mom, incredible, right? Huge. How many work here? 10, including Aunt Lucy. Lucy works here? Yes, 2 months. How? Good learning, healing like me. Ethan gave Miriam. Want daughter grow knowing story grandma. Want know grandma lost everything recovered. Built beautiful. Want know she can do same times necessary. Exactly. Carried Miriam walked shop, showed machines, fabrics. Look Miriam, everything this because grandma didn't quit. You won't quit ever. Veins warrior blood. Baby looked smiled tiny real. Loves you, Ethan said. Love her heart. Night new apartment rented real kitchen bath. Sat sofa took ring mom. Mom did it. Not planned, dreamed, but did. Business, dignity, granddaughter, peace. Ring shined, swore heard voice. Always knew daughter. Oct message unexpected. Valerie. Miriam coffee? Need talk. Hesitated replied. Yes. When? Tomorrow 11 Toscano. Arrived punctual. Valerie there. Nervous. Thanks coming. Miriam, okay? Yes, perfect. Other thing. What? Mom sick. Cancer advanced. Doctors say 6 months. Sorry much. And I don't know do. Relationship complicated like with you start. Now dying want fix. Don't know how. Asking advice? Yes, because forgave unforgivable need know how. Not easy fast, but understood. Forgiveness not other person. You. Move without wait. How start. Talk her. Tell feel hurt but love forgive even if doesn't ask. When gone no chance. Valerie cried. Afraid. All afraid. Regret hurts more fear. Thanks, Miriam, everything example needed. Not example, just woman learned get up. More many achieve. Hugged, long sincere, understood. Karma, not revenge. Seeing grow hurt. Learn, change, evolve. When grow, all grow. Novem 6 months award TV called. Mrs. Bennett report story special 30 minutes. Interested? Don't know. For what? Inspire women. Show can start over. Okay, accept. Filmed week shop house team, Miriam Ethan. Report deck prime time. Watched alone Sala coffee. Didn't recognize. Woman screen strong, sure, successful, vulnerable, human real. Final words report. All women passing difficult feel can't more say something. Yes, can. Always can. Stronger believe. Life always second chances. Who earns? Ended hundreds messages, women lost jobs, marriages, houses, kids, thanking hope. Moment understood purpose. Purpose pain fall reconstruction. Not just me. All. Show can. Always can. Afternoon closing shop arrived. Woman older 70 cane. Mrs. Miriam? Yes. Saw report wanted meet. Pleasure. Help? No, help. Just thanks. Thanks, why, reminding not finished. Lost husband 50 years thought life over reminded can start over 70 price. Eyes tears. Never late, never. No now no. Thanks. Left cane shoulders up. Stayed door shop looking street looking life smiled. Karma, not punishment, justice, silent, perfect, inevitable. Lost everything taken humiliation, life returned, dignity, respect, love. Hurt learned not revenge, lessons time teaches. Enough. Once called crazy, proud, dramatic. Words hurt. Now understand, life pays debts truth. Valerie learned, Ethan grew, I found. Seen life balances. Karma teaching. Tell me, Today, writing 2 years past uniform afternoon, 2 years eternity yesterday. Shop 20 employees, contract hotel chain, Patty partner Rose design Anna award Lucy training, sister broken teaches rise. Ethan Valerie together not perfect real. Therapy limits respect, Miriam 2 walks, talks, grandma melts heart, Sunday see cook play, tell stories day bigger tell story. True no filters no, grandma not always strong, lost everything bottom thought couldn't but did, because women thus, strong even no even world says can't. Other day storage found box uniform, kept reminder, opened uniform black starched white apron no pain gratitude, start everything, choice, dignity, comfort, peace approval, victim survivor, chose rise. Not donated kept special box things photos letters ring award part story good bad beautiful painful. Month ago, conference women business. 500 women. Told story complete shame. Uniform tears, room nights, reconstruction client dollar dignity award. Woman approached. Mrs. Miriam question. How did? Forgive son, daughter-in-law? Angry family don't know forgive. Forgiveness not them, you sleep peace advance. But forgive not forget permit hurt again. How no ready. Anger, not sleep, remember not hurt, chest, understand learning, even hurt. Cried, hugged, thanks. Thanked because tell story heal bit more. Today closing shop look team. 20 women stories scars rising. Understand shop not business, refuge family proof can. Keep ring bag, always walk, car thank mom. Mom did. Not dreamed better know who am price. Ask regret something always same. No. Not pain taught. Not fall strengthened. Not lose found myself. Lesson biggest lose everything, house company family security. If not lose self-dignity, not lost nothing rebuild necessary. Night dinner Ethan Valerie Miriam. Hold granddaughter laugh son talk daughter-in-law. Normal, simple, beautiful, no grudge, debt pain, family imperfect real. Drive house sun setting, smile understood fundamental. Life not falling, rising again, dignity, strength, self-love. When Miriam Big asks how say, love grandma, not special, no powers, 2 things, hands will not quit. With that built all. Give ring say ring, great grandma me now mom day yours. Use remember women family, not quit veins, warrior blood. Arrive house ring open Miriam arms. Grandma, scream hold, hug kisses, moment hug understand worth it. Tear night doubt brought here, fine better perfect. Story helps woman open eyes, rise, not accept crumbs, value understand, always weigh, start over worth, blow tear, darkness light always arrives, always. Just stand long enough see, thanks listening end. Story touched, share someone needs, hear not alone, rise, start over. Subscribe bell hear stories, women transformed pain wisdom, day woman lesson life. God bless, remember never late, start over, never.